8 months ago, we rolled onto our raw and overgrown land with the intentions of building out our fully off-grid homestead. With a very small solar setup, living in just 80 square feet, no efficient water system, and in the middle of the Tennessee summer, it was uncomfortable to say the least. We ordered an Amish-built cabin to serve as a quick solution to make ourselves more comfortable and to serve as our starter home on our homestead, with the intentions that it would eventually be a rental cabin. But we later found out that there was a slight problem in our plan. Now, if you're not familiar with this issue, check out the video linked above. But from this video, we received an overwhelming amount of support, a bit of hate, and a lot of suggestions. The goal of our content is to create a positive breath of fresh air in a hectic, high-intensity, and political world. Because of this, we focused on creating that style of content, rather than focusing on the issue with our cabin. But let's address some of our most commented advice and suggestions. Put it on a foundation. While this makes logical sense, we were told by the state that it doesn't satisfy their requirements. Now, while we were confident that we wouldn't actually run into any issues going this route while it served as our starter home, we had concerns on if there would be problems in the future when we decided to turn it into a rental. Put an axle under it. This would make it a tiny home, which the state of Tennessee has other specific regulations on. Add on to it or take it apart and put it back together. Now, this may have worked for us in the long run, but it defeated the original purpose of giving us quick and convenient housing to allow us to focus on the development of our land and the building of our electrical and water infrastructure. Well, you shouldn't be squatting. It's illegal. What? We own our land. County versus state clarification. There seemed to be a lot of confusion on this from our last video. Our county does not have a building permitting process. If you want to build your own house, you just do it, with no permits or inspections with the exception of electrical. And the state allows counties to do this, but the state does enforce their own laws specifically and only for these ready removable structures. When push came to shove, our decision had to purely be what was certain to give us a better living situation sooner than later. So we decided to buy a camper to quickly renovate and move into. We covered some of the reasons for this in the video linked above. But what's next for our cabin?
So our original plan for the cabin was to live in this for about 2 to 3 years and then eventually build our forever home and then use this as a rental.
So in the midst of everything, when we were talking about getting a camper and getting ourselves into a more comfortable position that we could afford really easily and something we could get done really quickly, we discussed on no matter what, the camper would be a more short-term home for us. So when we made that decision, we said, we're gonna greatly pull forward the planned start date on our forever home.
Yes.
So it's not for certain, but our goal, what we would like to make happen, is to start our forever home build this fall, which is super, super exciting.
Which is very, very exciting.
We'll see if we can do it. In some way, shape, or form, we're gonna start it this fall.
Even
we're
if it's just a little bit.
sure what shape or form that's gonna be.
So that was kind of like a little bit of like a blessing, I guess, with all of this happening the way it did, was because now our forever home, the one we really, really want to build, is sooner.
Yeah, and ultimately, this cabin would have been more comfortable and a little bigger than the camper, but especially with Stetson now, we've lived in tiny spaces for years. And by tiny, I mean tiny, tiny. Our van was less than 80 square feet. This cabin was less than 300 square feet. The camper's less than 300 square feet. For the work that we're doing here, we're really ready to be in something a little bigger. We're forever gonna be in a smaller version of a home, at least by American standards, but we're ready for some space. Yes. So like she said, it's almost a little blessing there that this has allowed us to save the money that we would have put into this and now allow us to start our forever home a little bit sooner.
But with all that being said, what is next for this cabin?
So up until now, it has been a bit of a mess.
A disaster!
We've had a lot of projects going on and we just didn't really have space to put things. So it's been a storage shed up until now.
I called it the black hole until now.
We did a few sweet things like watch some football games on Sundays in there with the buddy heater, but Ultimately, we've been able to kind of change the space a little bit, and we're really excited for the changes that we're making to allow this to actually start being a functional part of this homestead rather than just a storage building.
So we've taken all the clutter and all the things out of this cabin. And
not all the things.
Not all the things. Yeah, not all the things.
But most of the clutter.
But a lot of the clutter. And put it into our metal storage shed so we can finally use this space.
We're turning this into a site that's gonna support our passions here. We're gonna start brewing beer in here. We're already starting all of our seeds in here. We have grow lights set up. We're gonna do a lot of things that we're really here to do.
Canning and food prep.
Canning and food prep, freezing food. We'll have deep freezers in there. And we've started the beginning of this transformation of the space.
Very early beginning of this transformation.
Let's check it out.
Let's check it out. So what I love about what we're doing with the cabin right now is that we're just kind of giving it a blank slate so it can change as needed as our needs change. Right now, we need place to prep, do our seedlings, have some indoor workshop space, and work on different hobbies of ours. And that is what it's going to be right now.
So the cabin, as far as the structure is concerned, is very much the same of where we left off with y'all. There's still only insulation in the ceiling, there's still no walls, but that's actually something that we plan to change over time, hopefully through the summer. We do plan to run electrical in it, we plan to set things up with some plumbing, put insulation in, put walls up, and really make this a functional finished space rather than just a shed.
So Matt built me this, so we have a LED grow light going with all of our little seedlings happening right now. We're gonna get some more, I think, going as well, just because it's still a little bit chilly to get those, you know, peppers and stuff in, but we're gonna get more in, and it looks so good, and they're growing so well.
The TV's still here. We don't exactly know what we're gonna do with it, but we have the space, so it's just another little TV room for us. But what I'm most excited for is over here. And I've already pulled out some of my brewery equipment. With this space being such a disaster and us being in such chaos just trying to have electricity, have a comfortable home to live in. You saw the one batch of beer that I messed up quite some time ago, and I haven't gotten back to have time to do another one or the space. And now I have a proper work area to start brewing beer, to start tinkering with things. Over there we have our pressure canner pulled out so we can start messing around with pressure canning. It's just really nice to have a designated space for this versus an area that you have to clean up every single time and pull stuff out to start working in that space. And I'm actually about to get a batch of beer going, which we'll show you a little later on in this video. Super exciting to start using this.
So I am sitting next to the first of many fridges and many freezers to be here in this space. We are really excited to have everything up and running in this space because we're going to be able to freeze our veggies once the garden starts this year, so we have produce throughout the year. And also we're looking into like a quarter pig or a quarter cow that we can buy here locally, because not only are we 40 minutes away from the closest grocery store, but we also want to make sure that we're buying very high quality meat, and having this space with our freezers and our fridges set up in here will allow us to do that. A big part of homesteading is actually to be able to preserve, right? So you need that space, you need those materials to be able to preserve, so freezers and fridges are a must.
So running grow lights, powering deep freezers, brewing beer, running tools, how are we gonna power all that? Well, as you know, we got this big 4.8 kilowatt solar array. And in here is our solar shed, which is collecting all that power, storing it, and converting it to AC power for usage. But with the cabin all the way back there, we needed a solution. Once again, we're leaning on our Bluetti AC300 and B300, and best yet, we have an upgraded system with 2 expansion batteries. So that takes this from just being a 3072 watt-hour system to having just over 9,200 watt-hours of battery storage capacity. And what's crazy is that's almost the same capacity as our giant battery over in our solar shed. Now let's take a quick look at how we're powering this. So we actually have our 375 watt Bluetti flexible solar panel outside with the cable going currently just through the window as a temporary solution. And right here we have an extension cord that's actually coming all the way over from our solar shed that can supplement and ensure that we're maintaining a battery percentage that we need, in addition to our 375 watt panel out here that's charging it. And I really like leveraging this solar panel because it begins kind of making this cabin its own independent solar system. Now, a great feature that the Bluetti AC300 has is different modes for a UPS. UPS stands for uninterruptible power source. Now, let me show you what that looks like. So what the standard UPS enables is when you have AC power coming into the system, it's able to take that power and prioritize it to the loads and then charge the batteries. This is extremely beneficial because you have a lot of efficiency gain. And for uninterruptible power, what this means is although this heater fan is currently being powered by the AC power that's plugged in, and you can see that right here, you'll see the fan moving, and here, I'll move it a little closer. I'm sure you can hear it. Now, if I unplug this AC power coming in, the system changes to powering this fan from the inverter so fast that there's no interruption. And of course, this can all be controlled in the Bluetti app. When you open up the different working modes, you'll see PV, priority, UPS, time control, and customized. I am going to set mine to PV priority, but I want to call out specifically time control UPS, which is pretty cool because it allows you to set a schedule of when the Bluetti system will charge off of AC power. This is extremely beneficial if you're actually on the grid and you live in an area where they're actually going to charge more for electricity usage during a certain time of the day and charge less during another time. Obviously, being off-grid here, we're just going to stick with PV priority, which allows us to set which state of charging we want the AC power to shut off and just rely on solar power. So thank you to Bluetti for sponsoring today's video and for being the power core of the new projects going on here within our cabin. The Bluetti AC300 and the B300 are super dependable and versatile products that y'all have seen grow with us, from powering the camper to powering power tools outside for projects, and now being the power core within our cabin. We actually have a $100 discount code in the description below. Go over to Bluetti's website and check them out.
It's brew day, baby! Look at that thing, baby.
We're brewing some beer today, and I'm getting to use this new toy that Cass got me for Christmas. This is a super high propane powered stove to use outside. It came with a huge wok, so I can do like big batches of fried rice and stuff. But the better part is, the old version of this that I had, I bought a long time ago and it was super short, so I was always bending over when using it. But this one has adjustable leg height, so I can put it up right where I want it. It seems more powerful than my old one too. We're doing an amber ale today.
Matt has always loved brewing his own beer, and now we have the space and better equipment to do it, which is really awesome. And it's just like another part of homesteading to us, is having our own beer here at the ranch. So it's very cool to like be making your own stuff, right? That is what homesteading is, making your own stuff.
And while it's not like incredibly cheap to do, for the quality of beer that you're getting, if you do it right, you're getting the same quality as a craft beer, but you're getting it for well under $1 per beer price.
One day it'll be our own hops and our own yeast.
Our own. All right, so a little brew day set up in the cabin. Over here, I just have my bucket of sanitized water and everything that I'm sanitizing to brew with. Sanitizing and having clean equipment's kind of the most important part of the entire process. But coming on down here, we have our ingredients. So our friend Jason sent this kit actually to me for my birthday. So thanks, Jason. Awesome. Can't wait to try it. So this is a little instructions list. And then we have the grains with the grain steeping bag right here. They smell so good. If you've ever walked into a brewery and liked the smell, you would like the smell of this. If you didn't like the smell. So then we have our hops, and they're all labeled with which time in the boil I should add them. Last but not least, we have our yeast, which gets pitched over here in this badass new fermenter that I got that I'm really excited to use.
He's just really excited to be brewing beer right now. It is a beautiful day to be doing it though.
It is.
It's beautiful out.
All right, so I got my grain bag in the pot. The temperature's ready to start steeping the grains. Let's dump them in. Now we just let that bad boy steep for 30 minutes.
So I am just walking through the garden, checking everything out. We already have some stuff coming up, guys. We have some little radish babies all lined up right here. Radish is really fun to grow because it is super fast. It's very, very frost tolerant too, so you don't have to worry about it too much, and it pops up really quick. So if you're not a huge gardener, try radishes. They're really, really easy to grow. It's just so nice to walk around our garden, and Matt's up there brewing beer. And we're really starting to like lean into making all of our own stuff here, which is so cool. And this stuff takes time. It takes time to learn. It takes time to get all the things set up to do it. But like once you start doing it, it just feels so good in your soul. It's like things are so much more rewarding when you do them yourself. So now we're making our own food, you know, we're growing our own food, we're making our own beer. We haven't bought bread from the grocery store in about a month and a half, which might seem simple, but it's really exciting stuff. You know, you're really truly creating your own things here. And soon enough, we'll be getting chickens and having our own eggs. So everything we're doing is just going a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more towards self-sufficiency and self-reliance. And it means so much, and everything you do means more, and you get excited to share it with people. Like I'm so excited every week to share this journey with you guys because it means something, right? And this is our labor of love. That's what we're doing every single day to provide for ourselves, but also share this knowledge and this journey with you guys as well. So thank you guys for being here. I'm feeling very, very grateful. And days like today when we're just kind of hanging around, we got music playing, brewing beer, looking at our garden. It's just really, really good days.
All right, so our 30 minutes are up. We are taking our grains out.
Wow, that's a lot of grains.
That's a lot of grains. The best part about these grains is now that we've used them, we are going to be able to, I mean, if we had chickens, I guess we could feed them to the chickens, but they're gonna go into our compost pile, so nothing's going to waste.
We could go get chickens.
You just got a couple weeks, babe.
Couple weeks.
Birthday present.
Birthday present. Birthday present, chicken. How are you guys liking this? It's so good.
What may just look like an organized shed on camera means so much more to us. It's the beginning of a new life for something that felt like a letdown. This cabin has been a roller coaster of emotions for us over the last few months, but as we look forward at the big picture of all of our future plans, we know that everything's played out well. Something that we thought was years away, the building of our home, is now on the horizon. We're comfortable in our camper, and we have a beautiful and dedicated space for all of our passions and to support the progress of our homestead. As always, thanks for running away with us.